to the Charmed Life podcast. This podcast is all about magic, metaphysics, mysticism, and the unconditional love of the universe. And I am your host. My name is Tricia Carr. Well, this episode is a little late. Well, I guess that's one way to look at it. Or you could say that I missed an episode last week, and that is because it finally got me, COVID. I am recovering from COVID now, and I'm still quarantining. So two things: if my voice sounds unusual, if you're a regular listener, that's why. And if my sound quality sounds unusual, it's because I'm doing it in my my home studio, which is not my typical great professional studio. But I think it will do, and I really wanted to get back to you guys as soon as possible and get to you this episode, which is so amazing. Before I introduce that, let me just also welcome new listeners. If you are new here, I am so glad that you're here. And what's amazing about it is it's actually a community. If you take a moment now, breathe into your heart, center into your heart, you may be able to imagine or sense others who are here seeking. We are a worldwide community, not just my podcast. I mean, all of us who are seekers, those who are here to shine their light so that this planet can be uplifted. Actually, it's more the human race that can be uplifted. Well, I'm going to make this a bit on the short side, but I wanted to make sure I do welcome any new listeners and tell you that we have weekly episodes usually, unless you get a virus, unless I get a virus. And so I should be back on track, and we'll have another episode in about a week. And also thank you to the regular listeners. A reminder that you can find me on Instagram at Tricia Carr Charm is the handle. And that's my name, Tricia Carr, TRICIACARR, and the word charm. And you can find me there posting all kinds of content. And my YouTube channel, I am having so much fun. I just sort of refocused the way that I'm offering on YouTube. So do please find that. It's just Tricia Carr. And of course, you can find the links to any and all of this in the description. Okay, now on with this episode. This is a conversation episode with the wonderfully brilliant, and I use the word brilliant intentionally, Adrienne Rivera. Adrienne Rivera is a spiritual business coach who specializes in teaching healers and coaches how to create a six-figure business online. She started her coaching journey as an online fitness and mindset coach, grew it to six-figure business, and discovered her passion and talent for business coaching. Adrienne supports her clients with growing and scaling their purpose-driven businesses by hosting online events and building their email lists. Adrienne focuses on helping her clients find alignment with their business on a soul level with BREATHWORK. She is the founder of Breath of Gold, a breathwork company that hosts weekly breathwork and also trains breathwork facilitators. Breath of Gold. I'm already reliving the resonance of our conversation because Breath of Gold and everything that she shares from the depths of her passionate heart about breathwork, you're going to be hooked. I feel like it. If you are already hooked on breathwork, then you're probably going to want to check out Adrienne's work. So we share a lot of different stories, and I won't keep you from it any longer. So here we go with my enlightening conversation with Adrienne Rivera, and I will chat with you on the other side. Well, Adrienne, I'm so excited to learn all about your work and about the breath of gold. Ooh, I'm already like transformed just like saying the words. So welcome to the podcast. And would you do us the honor to share with all of us, share with the audience, how you got into this work, your journey, and the work that you're doing with this Breath of Gold, with the journal, the Oracle deck, the training, the everything. I'm super excited about it. So necessary right now.
Yes. So my journey, I think, started way back when. And I'll start with I'll start with the beginning.
Okay.
The beginning.
It's a very good place to start.
The beginning of what I consider to be my journey. So
Uh-huh.
I grew up as a swimmer, and I felt like everything was like so much stress, so much pressure, really put so much pressure on myself getting into the best college, into states. And that led to 6 years of binge eating disorder, not knowing how to have the tools to take care of myself properly. All the tools that I have now, especially breath work, I wish I had during that time, because that would have really supported me. And so after doing swimming, I found my love for fitness in a different way, which was teaching in-person fitness classes. So I did that for a while. And then I remember seeing a Facebook ad saying, "Are you a fitness coach wanting to make 6 figures online?" I'm like, this is interesting. So that kind of got me interested about the coaching space, the coaching world, what's possible here. So I did fitness coaching for a while. I had a podcast called Fit Through Love. I had a book called Fit Through Love, and everything was about finding love through movement, through your body, through food, and changing your relationship with everything. Everything in life is a relationship, which still that message to this day is woven into what I'm doing, even though Fit Through Love is dissolved. And I got to a point where I found, I'm loving having a business and thinking about like the business plan and the marketing and the sales. And that is lighting me up even more than the fitness.
Yeah.
It's time to pivot. It's time to shift things. So then I started spiritual business coaching and working with coaches and healers and helping them grow their business, which is still what I'm doing to this day. And in the meantime, Breath of Gold has just been growing in a way by mistake. It's been like my passion project, and it's now even bigger than the business coaching. And really what I'm known for is Breath of Gold. So I have an oracle deck, I have a journal, and people always say when something is divine and it's really meant to be birthed through you, it kind of just feels like there's momentum and you're not really sure how anything happens. Like people don't really get it. They're like, well, a journal takes a lot of work and an oracle deck takes a lot of planning and you have to find an artist and all this stuff. And like, yes. And there's a little bit of like, I don't even know how any of it happened. Like, where did the ideas come from? When did they happen? I was so much just in flow with all of it that this beautiful brand, Breath of Gold, has been birthed, and it's been beautiful. And looking back, when I was doing fitness coaching, I used to use breath work with my clients that would plateau. And what I found is often they were holding on to so much grief and emotion in their body that I believe was why they were not able to reach their fitness goals. Yeah. They could only drop, the first 10 pounds, and then the last 10 pounds, it was emotional. So I really started to bring in more of the metaphysical, the breath work, and that was incredible. Like I felt so much purpose, and like I was creating so much transformation in 1 hour. I'm like, man, I can transform lives in 1 hour. That's all I need. This is amazing. And so I naturally brought that into my business coaching, and the clients that would get the best results, they would also do breath work every single week with me. And it was amazing. They would do breath work and then go live, and their energy would just like, in a way, break the internet in a positive way. And everyone would just magnetize to them. And it was like a magnet. It was so cool. So breath work has been a huge part of my journey. I remember when I first found it, it was also by accident, as many good things that we find and attract do. And I just saw a flyer at the library where I was living in Steamboat Springs, Colorado at the time, for something called Spirit Fest. I said, well, that sounds interesting. I should go to that. And so I did. And the first session was like so much euphoria. I had never felt that much euphoria in my body alone, like without anything else. I'm like, this is just me. This is just my breath. Whoa, what is this? And so I was immediately hooked. I kept going back for more, and each session was completely different. It was sometimes that I would process a lot of grief or sadness, or old injuries would flare up in the body. Sometimes massive clarity would come through. Sometimes it was inner child healing. Like really, I found through my own breathwork journey that breathwork gives us whatever we need. And so last year I created a breathwork facilitator program to really have that be my legacy. If I can help people lead awesome breathwork experiences and get breathwork in the hands of more people, I believe that we can change the world. And one of the most profound breathwork journeys that still I will never forget to this day was when I was on a cruise, and I led a woman on the cruise after I had manifested teaching a yoga class on the cruise because the yoga instructor was sick. And I'm like, well, here I am, I'm certified. Let me teach. And so that was like right around the timing that my book came out, talked about my book. I talked about my journey overcoming binge eating disorder. And this woman came up to me and she's like, wow, like I resonate with your story. I've been struggling with binge eating for the last 30 years. Can you help me? And the clear message that came through was like, leader in breathwork today.
Yeah.
And so I did in the cruise cabin, and she got to the root cause of her eating disorder. It was like, wow, like if I can help people get to the root of whatever it is that they're struggling with, it will change the planet.
Mm. Oh, what a beautiful story. I just love every turn in that. Even the sad parts.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. You were talking a few things that I was thinking about, that you were talking about how it just happened in a way. I mean, it didn't just happen. When you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, it was happening all this time, but we didn't have to. We did get some message. We do still get some messages from people, from teachers, or maybe it's the way that we interpret it or we infer about attracting or manifesting, that we have to be really harsh and we have to almost self-flagellate, you know what I mean? Like force ourselves to do things. But in fact, it's really about allowance. I heard someone say, I know who said this, so I could attribute. I remember it was a woman's voice, but she said that ideas find us. I mean, ideas are thought forms that the universe already created, and then they find us, and we have to we just allow them. We don't resist them, and we just stay in the flow and work on ourselves, because being in the flow and living a spiritual life, also contrary to maybe some of the presentations that we see on social media, it's not about like being on a 10 of the joy scale every moment. No, it's doing the work. It's doing the tough work. And so just what a beautiful story to be able to move through all of that. Thank you for that. Thank you for what you're giving to the world. It's amazing. I want to hear all about I want to hear about the products. I mean, I want to see the oracle cards. And some people are going to be
Yes,
listening to this, but we can describe, if you want to pull a card
I would
for the
love
audience,
to.
for all of us right
Yes.
now. And it's called Breath of Gold, the oracle cards. How long have they been out? And can we find them on Amazon?
Since January. You can find them
Okay.
on Etsy, and you
Okay.
can also find them on my website, breathofgold.com. And yeah, there's 67 oracle cards. I do remember how this came through. I was
Okay.
on a Zoom call, and it was a
Mhm.
leadership Zoom call. And I just remember like the person's voice like fading into the background, and then just huge download coming through of like all of the names of the cards and just writing them all down. And it was like, this is
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of ideas come to me while I'm doing something else.
Oh, well, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. So some of the card names are breathe in understanding, breathe in determination, breathe in humor, breathe in responsibility, breathe in productivity. So each card reminds us to connect something, a way of being, a feeling, an emotion to ourselves through our breath. And I love it. So
Mm-hmm.
the card that I will pull is card number 1, breathe in discernment. And
Ooh.
this is what the card looks like. I found the most beautiful artist.
I think I know who it is, because I've already like, and did she help you create the deck?
So she did all of the art. I just,
Yes, I think I know who it is, because I recognize the work and I have her like bookmarked, because I'm like, I want to work with
is it
her.
Kat?
I can't remember her name, maybe. I'll
It is
confirm
Kat.
afterward.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, she's so amazing. So I will read this. So I wrote all the card messages inside. So
Mhm.
this one is, what have you been allowing yourself to stress about? This is a time for self-reflection about what you've been sourcing into your life. If you've been looking outwards for answers, this is your reminder to go within. This is the time for you to trust that you have all the answers you need within you. Tap into the energy of self-sufficiency and self-determination. You are invited to assert yourself powerfully in a variety of places in your life. Don't be afraid to let those in your life change the roles and ways in which they support you. You know exactly what you want and need. It's time for you to fully step into trusting yourself and your wise inner guide. Give yourself grace in this time and place that you are in. Be gentle with yourself and allow yourself to choose happiness over stress and worry? Where in your body can you soften your energy? It's time for you to look at things from a higher perspective.
Oh, I love it. And I love that it's the one card. I mean, they're all magical, right? But
And as soon as you said that, it was 11:11 on our screen. So
yeah.
beautiful. All the ones, the magic.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Mhm.
All of the God number, the individual, the God in me number. That's amazing. Wow, that's beautiful. I love it. There was something else not to circle back or digress, but I wanted to talk about that plateauing thing. We plateau when we're talking about like weight reduction, or I like to call it body ascension because we're releasing density. And the plateau, that first bit, but we obviously that can be applied to anything, plateauing in any different area of the life. The first bit seems to happen, when we've shifted into the gear and into the belief of it but it is still the inner work was done first, but then we need to do the deeper work. And that's something that I've been working on personally and also with my clients, particularly my coaching clients, because with body weight, especially like the body, like fat, it's actually protecting our energy because it takes longer for energy that's atmospheric or coming toward us. It takes longer for it to get to us because it has to move through the layers of this extra, flesh that we've put on. And so we actually have to prepare to be more sensitive and therefore be strong, to be able to, to know that we are strong, to be fortified. And so it does take a lot of deep work, and finding out that root cause, like you led that person in with the breath work. I mean, it's everything, but we have to get there gently too. We can't force it. We have to get there with love and compassion as we move through those layers and bathe ourselves in that divine breath inside and out. Right.
Yes.
Oh, I
Thank you
love
for
it.
adding that.
I was just excited about it. So back to the deck. Sorry, I'm going to jump around a little bit, but I am a little jumpy. So how do you recommend people to use it, and what are the different ways? Because I know people are always interested in that. How do you like to use the Oracle deck? And we will be right back. Hello, my friend. It's Tricia Carr. I'm here to invite you to my coaching and mentoring portal, Modern Mystic Life. This high-value, easy access portal is like having a spiritual mentor right in your pocket. You'll receive all the inspiration right there in your text messenger, and you can also access it on your desktop. I will be delivering the tools and technology that are proven to evolve your abundant life inside and out. You will receive daily inspiration, education, and practices to help you evolve your life as a mystic and a human spiritual being. Plus, you will have access to my monthly workshops in which I teach and channel cutting-edge spiritual content, and also will give guidance, intuitive readings, and attunements right there in our group setting. I worked with Spirit to co-create and manifest the best way to support you, and in the easiest fashion, and here it is. I'm very excited to co-create with you too. So, welcome, my friend, to your modern mystic life. Hi, friend. It's Tricia Carr with an invitation for you if you are ready to accelerate your ascension and connect to the swift flow of your life mission. Mind, Body, Ascension, Acceleration Coaching. All of my clinical training, my experience from teaching and providing countless sessions and classes, one-on-one, group coaching, healing, reading, teaching, channeling, as well as my calibration as a human design reflector. I'm offering all of this to you to step up your entire life, to accelerate your ascension walk. If you've had a single session with me, if you've had coaching, or if you've experienced transformation from any of my offerings, my classes, podcasts, videos, well, this is an accelerated and exponentially charged. This is what my soul has prepared for an eternity and up to now. And if you hear this call, then this is also co-created with your soul. Your life is meant to be joy first and a service as a close and integrated second. Let me tell you some of the results that you can expect from going through a mind-body ascension accelerator. Confidence and clarity that you are living your spiritual mission. Mastery over the mind, utilizing it as a tool to create your life. And also an upgraded nervous system. improved physical well-being, body composition improvement, reduction of inflammation and or chronic issues, improved relationships, an understanding of who you are in partnership, and of powerful tools to design fantastic partnerships, healing of past pain and trauma, and skills to continue to self-heal, excitement about and empowerment in your personal spiritual practice, and a map to continue to walk your ascension path and to overflow to serve others. This coaching is especially tuned for high achievers who want to accelerate their progress on their life mission and create mind-body well-being and higher attunement. Submit to work with me in this powerful container, this premium coaching. If you feel the call, you can do it. I guide, you take action. I hold the resonant projection field, channel your steps, and you take action. The first action step is to fill out an application, the link to which you will find in the description. Be prepared, be ready to upgrade your mind-body ascension and your connection and flow with your spiritual mission. And now back to the show.
Yeah, I just pull one card whenever I feel like I need a message. Sometimes it's every day, sometimes it's when I feel like it, and it's just whenever I want to have a message. Now, I have 4 decks. One is the one that I've created. And so usually when I pull cards for myself, I just pull one from each deck.
I do that
and
too.
then I
yeah.
see like what is the overarching theme. And I really like to do that because if I pull a card from my own breathwork deck and then I pull a card from one of my other decks and it's basically the same message, I'm like, okay, this is a completely different deck. Like, you can't make this up.
Yeah.
So that's usually how I use it in my own practice. I don't pull cards in a certain timing. I just feel like whenever I'm curious about it, then I will. So sometimes before a breathwork journey, if I'm unclear on my intention, I will do that. Often I will use the Breath of Gold Oracle deck when I'm leading breathwork and think about, okay, like what are people needing right now? And using that to inform me of where I get to guide them next. And that's really fun to do so.
And so if a person is in their personal practice, they pull their cards or their card from the Breath of Gold deck, is it recommended that you do a certain kind of breath work to, really absorb the message?
Yes. So I love that you shared that because everyone that buys the Breath of Gold Oracle deck also gets a month free in my breathwork membership. And there's
great.
over 80 different recordings in there, like so many different themes. So based on what resonated for them from the card deck, they can go in and find a theme that resonates and do that entire journey. So the journeys that I have in there are like an hour each. I don't recommend necessarily that they need to do that every single day, but like once a week, pull a card, do a breathwork session, find the clarity that you need, and then you can move forward, more informed in your life around what may be holding you back or what you get to embody in order to create the success that you desire.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it so much. And so you have a membership. Tell us about the membership. I'm excited about that because I think those are so valuable to help us. We're busy, but we need to prioritize whether it's community or just the reinforcement, the law of repetition. The universal law of repetition is such a friend. It helps us to transform our lives. And so having those prompts or having the resource of it. So anyway, I want to hear all about is it Breath of Gold?
Yes,
Also,
the Breath of Gold membership. Yes.
Okay.
And it's also on my Breath of Gold website. So this started actually out of COVID. I just felt the need for leading breathwork consistently for people because people were going through so much. And so I have been leading one breathwork class a week for almost the entire time. So it's been like 2.5 years, maybe 3 years now. I know.
That's a commitment.
It's a commitment. It is the thing that I've been the most committed to in my entire life. Like, I don't think I've ever done anything that consistent. And so I love it. It doesn't feel like work. It feels so exciting and inspiring. And every single Sunday I get to guide people and hear their shares. So what it is it includes Sunday breathwork sessions with me. And then in the beginning, we have intention setting. We go through an hour-long journey. And then the last little bit is integration. So people get to share about their journey, their experiences, And it's really cool to hear the wisdom that comes through for not only myself, but also for the other participants to learn from their journey, but also everyone else in the community. And then for people that can't make it live, or maybe it was an epic session and they want to do it again, they can go into the membership and do that same recording again. So each recording has a different theme, a different playlist, different vibe, different channeled messages, and it's amazing. So I personally use the membership myself. I feel like it's something that I wish existed back when I really got into breathwork, because I was looking for all the breathwork that I could get. And when you go to YouTube or you look for breathwork online, it's usually like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm like, I want the full journey. Like, I want an hour-long journey. And I would have to wait. I'd have to wait and find like an in-person class, or wait for the people that do like the once a month things, but that felt like it was too long. And sometimes the time didn't really add up. So having so many hours of recorded journeys for people to do at their own pace when they feel called is amazing. And I go in there and I do my own journeys, which is always really cool and trippy to hear my voice from the past telling me exactly what I needed to hear. I'm like, how did I know I needed to hear this? Yes.
That's amazing. I can't listen to my own meditations. I mean, I can.
I love it. Yeah.
That's great. That's good. Wow. That's beautiful. Such beautiful work. So you, I want to know, you told us about your, some of that journey that led you there. I'm very curious about other parts of your spiritual practice, other ways that, that with the metaphysical component. Did you always kind of have a metaphysical leaning, or did you have some kind of awakening? I'm always curious about how you get into having a career and a life's work and a purpose that's based around helping people with their spiritual, life.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And breathwork really was the thing that guided me to everything. I have experienced a lot of different types of spiritual practices before, and a lot of them have supported me in many ways. I even worked with a mediumship mentor for a while, and she was supporting me in activating my gifts, my intuition. And I, went to Peru, did plant medicine, like tried all the things. And to this day, breathwork is just the most powerful thing that exists. And sometimes it blows my mind because I see like new healing devices come out or new energy frequency things. And I think they may work well for some people. And I still use some of the things to balance my energy. Like I have the chi machine that I use. I have a foot spa that I use. And I believe that there's densities in our energy that we can clear. I go to a Reiki master whenever I feel like I need clearing, usually after being in a retreat, leading a retreat, I just clear it out. But to this day, breath work is the most simple thing because we have our breath with us at all times. Like we don't need to lug around some fancy $5,000, piece of equipment. Like it comes with us on vacation. It comes with us everywhere. Like we just have to be mindful, drop into a space where we can breathe and get the messages that we need. So I grew up going to a church. It was like a Lutheran church, and that's just what my family raised me with. But I always felt like there was like a deeper connection that I was wanting. And I remember feeling like a lot of fear, just like, oh my God, if I don't sing, I'm going to go to hell. Like, what is this? So there's just a lot of fear. And I'm like, okay, I know that there's more, and I want to feel it in my body. Like I want to feel like God, universe, spirit in my body, and breath work has given me that. And, plant medicine has not given me that. It's given me some profound wisdom, and I have had some good journeys, but I'm in a space right now where I'm like, I can get everything I need from breath work, and to really double down on that feels really good. I still use fitness as a way that feels very metaphysical to me. It feels like endorphins and putting myself on the right path. So if I can really stay up to par with my body, everything in my life is good.
Yeah. Oh, so true. Me too. And the body is the subconscious, especially from the neck down, is the subconscious mind. So you can see what is happening in your how your energy is moving, or in your spirit, by looking at the way your body is manifesting. And by the way, that's not something that's meant to cause any shame. It's actually just, it's here for us, it's here to show us what's going on. And
lately, so I have endometriosis, and I am suppressing it with hormones, but it still flares up. It stays really under wraps with the hormones, but it also went into a lot of remission when I upgraded my body composition to, releasing a lot of density, because that was released. It also put down a lot of inflammation. It's all the parts at once. But what I have been doing to push through, and where maybe I'm plateaued because I get minor flare ups, is I breathe into that area. I know I'm holding tension there. I know it's a whole life, it's a whole 48 years of holding tension in that area of energy, but in the physical body. And so, breath work, sending the breath to that area and allowing life to move into the area of the physical body and the energy body, it's really been helping a lot. And breath is everything, isn't it? I know it's simple, and it feels like you can hear critics or skeptics going like, "Oh, let's breathe." You know what I mean? Like making fun of us, but
Yeah.
it's fundamental, and it is showing it it shows us faith. It shows how I am faithful to life, and how life, or love, God, universe, is faithful to me, because in fact it is there in every single moment. And I also get to consciously engage in it whenever I like. I believe in it so much, I am so faithful to it, that I actually most of the time automate it. It's just subconscious, is happening in the background, and then we get to work with it as the magical tool that it is. So you are doing
Hmm.
God's work. I'm going to say it. I just said
Oh, thank you so much.
it.
Yes.
What is the significance of gold? Like, what does gold mean to you, or how did that come to you, intuitively or
I
literally, whatever?
wish I knew the exact moment that the name came, and I don't even
Mhm.
remember it. I was talking to a friend of mine literally yesterday, and I was like, when did the name come to me? Like all of this just came through, and it's like, whoa. I do remember like being really in my head about it and writing down like 100 names that I could call a breathwork business. And I remember like coming across one that was like kind of good, but I Googled it and it was very similar to another one. And I actually
Mhm.
remember reaching out to that woman on Instagram, like, hey, thinking about starting a breathwork business. It has this name. It's very similar to your name. Like, is that okay with you? And she was like, no, that's too similar, but don't worry. I trust that you'll find the perfect thing for you.
Oh, how nice of
And
her. I
that was
like it.
so good. Like, thank you for telling me no. Like, I needed that because if I would
Mhm.
have gone with the first one, I would not have everything that I've birthed now.
Mhm.
And Breath of Gold has come more to life over the years as I've had it. And I really feel like the living, breathing brand with a pulse. And there's so much that comes through with it. Like I see like workout yoga clothes with like Breath of Gold. I
Yeah.
see like in my head during breathwork journeys, I see like a silhouette of my face breathing out gold butterflies. And so the
Mm.
logo is a butterfly, which is about transformation.
Mm.
And butterflies have always been very special to me. When I was younger, I used to not really want to do the normal games on the playground that people would do. And what I would want to do is I'd want to go to like the outer edge where there was all these butterfly bushes and there'd be butterflies dancing around the bushes and just creating so much life. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave the people over there. I'm just going to play with my butterflies. And so one day I'm like, I have a butterfly net at home. What if I just bring that to recess? I'm sure that's fine. And so I started like chasing butterflies and like catching butterflies in recess. And then like 2 days later, everyone had butterfly nets and they were like
Oh.
following along. I'm like, whoa, this is like an accidental trend. So whenever I see butterflies, I know that my inner child is with me. I'm reminded
Mm.
of her. I remember to have fun, to transform. And it's just a really special journey. There's even some breathwork journeys that I've led where it's like, in a way, you imagine that you're in a cocoon and you're breaking out and you're like
Yeah.
spreading your wings and you're taking yourself through your own metamorphosis.
Mhm.
And it's amazing. So, yeah, gold for me is abundance. It's a precious
Mm.
metal. It is my favorite color. It is so beautiful. And it holds a lot of wisdom. So the tagline for Breath of Gold is connecting to wealth and wisdom from within.
Mm.
And I do believe that everything that we're looking for outside of us can be accessed within.
Yeah.
And we need to really appreciate it and feel it in our body. That is the key to manifestation. And what I've learned over the years is that we get to learn how to hold so much gratitude for where we are now, while also holding in an unattached way our vision for where we're headed. Like there's no rush. I can hold my vision with an empty hand, not grasping too tightly, and just know that it's exciting to be excited about the future and what we know we're creating, but also just an immense amount of gratitude for where we're at. And I didn't used to always have that. In fact, I felt like everything was outside of me. Like the food outside of me was pleasure and comfort when I had the eating disorder. And I felt like, money would bring happiness and all these distortions. And so it really comes back down to the breath and realizing that we are already whole and complete and we are worthy of having more, but from a place of already being whole and complete. And gold, like Breath of Gold, has transformed into so much more. I have a course for my business coaching called Your Golden Offer, which is like creating the one signature offer that like changes the game of your business and takes you to multiple six figures. I have a mastermind called the Gold Frequency Mastermind. I have an upcoming challenge called the Gold Frequency Challenge. And so like Breath of Gold, in a way, like I got the download, it takes us into the gold frequency. And whenever I do breath work, like so many people, they're like, I saw so many gold coins. I see gold all over. I feel like a golden goddess. I feel like my breath was gold. Like, and it's not even intentional. It's not like I'm weaving in a lot of the gold into the language. It's just the energy that is. And what's fascinating is I was interviewed on a summit several months ago, and the woman who was hosting it said, okay, I want everyone to embody a goddess and choose a goddess to speak about in their presentation. And I told her, I'm like, I don't really know a lot of goddesses. I'm not familiar with any. She's like, well, you're like the breathwork queen. So let me look this up for you. And she found an Egyptian goddess named Serket, who is made of gold. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like she's literally made of gold, all gold. And whenever I do breathwork, I see all gold, everything. And so many people from that summit heard my breath work because I did a mini breathwork journey. And they're like, I felt Serket's energy channeling through you. This is crazy. Like, wow, there's this like fresh life force coming through you that is this ancient wisdom. And it was really cool.
Wow. I use gold a lot when I'm doing the breathwork piece to induce into hypnotic or meditative journey, same thing. But in an image that comes up for me is a golden sphere that you're expanding with your breath, and that it encompasses you. So, and also like for me, I associate with gold. I associate Christ consciousness and the Christhood frequency. And Christhood is not religious. The Christ consciousness is about spirit becoming human and human ascending to spirit. And that's what breath is, right? It's that cycle. You bring in the breath and it creates you as a human. You release it and it's releasing you back to spirit. So I just wanted to.
That is really cool. And that's fascinating because I remember a woman who came to my breath work. She came to many, many breath works. I'll never forget this one that she came to where she's like, you guys, this is crazy for me. I'm like super spiritual, non-attached to religion, grew up Jewish. But like Jesus just came through for me, like so hard, like during the breath work. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And so apparently he told her that fear stands for feel everything and release.
Ooh, thank you, Jesus.
Good. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. It's amazing.
Wait, I have to write it down. Do you remember who it was? Do you want to attribute
it was
to
my
her?
Client, Lauren Hill.
Oh, that's everything and release.
Yeah, feel everything and release. I'll never forget that.
And it's Lauren Hill, so I have to, because I'm gonna be doing it. I'm gonna be saying it. That's too good. Jesus meant for all of us to have it. So everyone, when you tell someone else that, you can say that Adrienne Rivera's client Lauren Hill told us that through Jesus.
Through Jesus.
That's the telephone game, but we all got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Wow. That's so beautiful. But what, I have to share too, that when we started at the very beginning of this conversation, I really wanted to ask you, like, what's the mystical, because I feel like a mystical either past life or just like some kind of strong connection to some kind of mystical past figure, or goddess or something like that. And I wasn't sure if it was like, what kind of past lives have you reviewed that shows you that this very strong momentum of this frequency is here right now. So now, but I think I got my answer. It's circuit.
That is exactly what's coming through. I think you're right.
Yeah, that's
Maybe I am
amazing.
her in living form.
Well, sure. I mean, that's the thing
Yeah.
about, masters or angels is that if we have that connection to them, the frequency that is the connection to them makes us a fractal of them, along with many others, that's
Hmm.
because we're all just one anyway, of course. So, how beautiful. I love your sharing of the Lutheran experience too, because actually I had a boyfriend in high school whose family was Lutheran. So I went to Lutheran church service with them quite a few times in this one year. And there is, like a lot of religions and a lot of services, there is a beautiful sacredness to, obviously depending on the person who's leading it, to the Lutheran service. But there's the liturgy, and there can be a lot of presence. So it's almost like if you were going to be in a religion, that would be the one that makes sense to me. you know,
That's fascinating.
to
You know,
have like
I
kind of,
will say that the first time that I ever felt like I felt God was in that church. And it was with
yeah.
this beautiful woman who sang. And she sang in a
Mm,
way where it's like, I've heard this woman sing many times, but the day that she sang this way was completely different. And it felt like an angel was coming through her body and singing. And
ooh,
as a young girl, it brought me to tears. I'm like, what am I feeling? This is so much energy. And it was so beautiful. And so
mm,
that connected me to the power of like voice and expression and
yeah.
singing and dancing, which is such a beautiful way to connect spiritually that I love and practice a lot.
Mm. Do you know your human design?
Yeah, my human
Manifesting
design is
generator?
yes.
Do you know if
You
you have the
already
30,
knew.
do you have the 3420 gate? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know I'm a 4/6 profile.
Okay.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, look, I said you may have 3420, or you may just have the 34 gate. That's in the throat. The 34, the 20 is in the sacral. And so when you have that channel, they call it the aura buster. I could feel manifesting generator 10 feet away before you showed up. I could feel it. But
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
uh
I'll have to look into that and let you
look
know.
into it. Look into that channel. And, even if it isn't actually in your chart defined that way, we all have that energy, and I feel like you're really tapping into it. I would be fascinated to see what your throat center looks like. It's defined, right? Oh, of course it is, because you're a
Um,
manifesting generator. It has to be defined
So
in order.
I actually have it here. If you
Oh,
want me
okay,
to
cool.
share it in the chat, we could go
Yeah,
into it.
yeah,
Yeah, this would be fascinating. Human design has helped me so much. And okay, here it is. Yeah, like just the freedom to create all the things that I have. I mean, as I shared my journey, I've had so many careers and I'm only 27. It's
yeah.
like I've had so many niches, so many aspects of my business. And I really feel that the permission to be all of me expressed and not have to just be so one focused with my life has been the ultimate freedom.
Oh, yeah, I know. And that's the thing. Manifesting, you don't have 3420. Oh, but you have this beautiful center line. I knew you had an open head center too, which you do. Your ajna is defined, but your head is open. But when you were like talking about all the different ideas for the name of your business, I was like, hello, open head.
Yep.
It's like I feel like open heads, which is actually a lot of people, 70%, I think, have open head centers. And it's like, with the open head center, maybe this is similar, the ajna as well, is that you're just in a constant state of epiphany. you know
Always
and
resonates so much.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's but yeah, your chart is just so amazing. You have this center line, which is so fascinating. It looks like a divine breath, like from your ajna to all the way down to
Wow.
the sacral, just like hello. And it's at the ajna, which is where your mouth and your nose is. So that's fascinating if you think
That
about
is
it.
really cool. Wow. I haven't
Yeah.
really seen a lot of other people's charts, so that is interesting.
I know. Well, I mean, they're all beautiful and interesting because we're like
Hmm.
snowflakes.
Yeah.
The thing that I think is manifesting generators. Yes. Manifesting generators, I feel like we all have the ways that we're conditioned by the world and we're misunderstood and everything. But yeah, with manifesting generators, you're multidisciplinary, you're multi-passionate, and you're supposed to be that way. And not
Hmm.
everything that you do is meant to, because it's so cool. I love that you start things and you do things. Some of those things are just to burn off that extra energy that you have. But it's not only just to burn the energy, you're still expressing it. It's still going to go more unconditionally into the field. Even, that's the thing. You're releasing energy unconditionally is a better way to say, like, oh, I started something and I didn't finish it. That's a human mind homogenized construct. You guys are here to, you know, let that energy be expressed in beautiful ways. Some of those things do come through a through line of manifestation. The universe will make sure that happens because it needs it to happen,
Right.
like breath of gold needed to happen and needed to
Yeah.
move through you. But, the other things that you might do throughout your day or, here and there, they're there to just deposit beautiful, unconditional life force, solar sacral energy. And so thank you for that. Because I'm a reflector and I got none, I have none
Wow.
of it. I don't have it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, give me some of that sacral energy. I need it. I need it today.
Oh, that's so beautiful that you're a reflector. You're like the third reflector I've ever met. As you know,
Really?
it's like 1% of the population. My
Uh-huh.
sister was a reflector.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
What do you
that
mean?
was fascinating. Okay.
She
She
passed?
still is. She still
Okay.
is. But like she was, and in my childhood in the past.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I get
Like
it.
it makes so much sense. Like
Yeah.
I felt that I was constantly in a state of epiphany, maybe because she was reflecting everything
Oh, totally.
to me.
Yeah.
Like
She's like,
so many things that I had to work on were in her. I'm like, okay, like this is pressing my buttons. And it was like reflecting in her. And so I actually just got back from a spiritual journey trip in Bali. I call it my sister healing trip. And I went with her. And the goal of the trip was to become friends again, because we basically went like 7 years. I don't want to say without talking, but like rarely talking. It wasn't like we were enemies. It was just kind of like the relationship and the intimacy had dissolved. And so that was a really beautiful experience. And at like day 3 or 4, we had the conversation. I'm like, should I go back to America? Like, this is really tough. Like it really pressed all of our buttons. We were just butting heads and all the things. And then there was one pivotal moment. And, I love that you posed the question earlier about like, what are the healing things that you do? Like jumping into cold water, especially in nature, is you, I believe, stepping into a new portal, stepping into a new chapter of your life. Yeah. That's literally what it is. So we were on the beach, we're crying and like, come on, we're at the beach. Like, why is this so hard? And I said, you know what? Like, and we just grabbed each other's hands like we used to when we were younger playing in the waves, and we ran into the ocean, and then everything shifted. The entire energy of the trip shifted. Our relationship shifted. We told each other everything from childhood and from past, present, future, like everything. We didn't hold back the rest of the trip. And the last day, we created a sister healing song together. And we created a dance and we performed it. We even went live on Facebook and like we talked about our journey, like becoming friends again, and like this craziness of like, how are we enemies 4 days ago? And like now we're closer than ever before. So that was really, really powerful. And I'm grateful to have a reflector so close to me in my life to learn and grow. And she sped up my ascension so much more.
I'm actually crying. I told you at the beginning, my eyes were watering because of post-COVID symptoms, but these are tears because that's so beautiful. I love it so much.
Yes.
And, just the way that you come together, the way that we fit together, and we can see it, just human design, shows us that. But I had this sense of you being the one who initiated going into the water. But then when you guys got in the water, then her lunar, power, because the water and the moon, then it just, both of you made that quantum expansion portal open up. So, wow, how beautiful.
I
That's
love
so
that.
sweet
It's so sweet. Yeah.
So you just like decided like, we haven't been close, let's do this. And you both said yes.
Yeah. So here's how it happened. Back in March, I went to a life-changing mastermind. And that was the same day that I did a speech out in Winter Park, Colorado, about breathwork and the power of breathwork. And I had some of the most profound breakthroughs that I've ever had. And one of the feedback that I got from the guy there was, he's like, you've got a lot to work on still with comparison, jealousy, not feeling enough. And growing up, it was very much like trying to compete with her. She was Foda's biggest flirt in school, and all the guys loved her. You know, she was faster than me in swimming, all the things. I always felt like, you know, she was smarter than me, like trying to be her and trying to keep up with her, even though I was 3 years behind in age. And so he told me, like, do something collaborative with your sister, like collaborate with her. And so I'm like, okay, like I know collaboration in business, like what that looks like, but I didn't really know what it meant. So I remember sending my sister this awkward voice note, and I was like, hey, I know we're not really close.
Like you're hitting on your sister.
Oh my God. It was totally like a pickup line. Like, you know, maybe we should collaborate. I'm like, I don't even really know what this means. I'm like, I don't know if you have any ideas, but like, this is just what's coming through. And my sister and I talk about that voice note, and she says, I remember where I was standing. I had just gotten off the train where she lives in Australia. And she was like, I was so honored and flattered that you reached out to me and that you wanted that. And so it was her idea to go to Bali. She's like, well, you've been wanting to go to Bali for a while. So have I. You know, Australia is not that far. That's where she's living currently. And so she said, do you want to go to Bali together this summer? And I'm like, oh, okay. I have not done a 9-day trip ever without my fiance of 7 years, engaged for 2, but together for 7. And so the fact of like being with her and then like knowing our sister story of like how much we used to fight and disagree, like it was nerve-wracking. I felt really uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm going to cry a lot. And I know that this is what I get to do. And she's my only sister. And I know that I love her, and I'm ready to like really like see each other in our similarities and differences. And what was fascinating was that I realized that she is very much a reflection of me. Like I thought that she was an opposite, but we are so similar. Like some of the things I'm like, oh yeah, well, like this is what I think about this. And like, she's like, I think the same thing. And we were like, totally just like, what? Like, I thought you would never get me. And I think that a lot of people have that. And they think that, you know, people in my family will never get me, especially sometimes like the, you know, being interested in human design or like the spiritual aspects or metaphysical things. And she was all about it. We did breath work together. She loved getting it more into her human design and loved that I was able to introduce her to that. And what's fascinating too about the reflector is that they're super sensitive to their environment. And I used to totally judge her and label her as high maintenance. I'm like, she left America to like go live abroad and she's so high maintenance. When really there's a reflection of me that is also high maintenance that I don't like to admit. And so, now I laugh about it because I can see that it really is true that she becomes her environment in a way. And so that's beautiful. And I love our differences and how we work, and also the similarities that, you know, when we come together, it is powerful when we can have that understanding of each other and let go of the judgment. I feel like I was able to completely let go of the judgment for her, which was also letting go of any residual judgment of myself.
Yeah. Have you done a composite of your profiles so you can see what channels complete in one another? Because it's so helpful for as a reflector. We don't have any channels. His channels have to be.
I should look at that.
You know, so yeah, you can really see. Yeah, look at that. You'll find it fascinating, I'm sure.
Thank you for sharing. Yes,
it might make some more of that childhood relational stuff make a little sense too. Like how you're kind of completing one another.
So much makes sense.
Wow, that's so beautiful. What is? Would you share your sister's first name just so we can?
Elise.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Hi, Elise.
Yes. Hopefully she'll listen to this. I love her.
I know. I hope so. Thank you for sharing the beautiful story of your family. I want to make sure we have in the description all of the amazing manifesting generator, multi-passionate ways that people can connect with you. But do you have any advice or a technique or something that someone can do right now today as soon as they finish listening to the podcast where they can start to connect with breath or breath of gold, even, you know, that the divinity and the healing power of breath?
Yeah. So I would say gift yourself the experience of being guided, whether it's a recorded thing, whether it's a live thing, whether it's one-on-one or in person or group. Gift yourself the experience of having a full hour-long journey. I feel that is really going to shift everyone's life. Of course, we can do box breath, which gets us very focused and calm, but a full breathwork journey is even different than breathwork techniques. pranayama exercises, and it will change your life. So one thing that I can offer is if you go to breathofgold.com/Sunday-breathwork, you can join one of the Sunday sessions with me, and those are live. And if you can't make it, you can also see some other free on-demand, download it as soon as you get to my website type things where you can activate abundance within. There's a really awesome free breathwork journey that we have in there that is called Expanding into Financial Abundance and activating that through breath.
Okay. Well, again, amen. And thank you, Jesus, because that sounds incredible.
Yes.
Well, this has been so beautiful, Adrienne. I would really love to collaborate with you, have you on again. I'm saying it on the podcast recording. So, hopefully you guys, maybe you'll get to hear more of Adrienne. And because I just love this work so much that you're doing, and you're producing so much valuable healing content. And so thank you for that. And just, is there any last thing you want to share as we conclude?
Remember that everything you've been looking for outside you is within. That is what I will lead you all with. Yes.
Oof, thank you.
And I hope to see you at Breathwork.
that 6 is coming through, that role model. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you felt that same inspiration that I did. I trust that you did. Well, I won't keep you too long here because, again, my voice is probably not its normal quality. But I do want to remind you to check the description for Adrienne's links of her social media and her different offerings. And I want to remind you also to check the description for what I'm offering. I have many different programs, both current and coming online soon. So I actually recommend that you join my newsletter. I also blog, so I will give you the blog through the newsletter, or at least a link to it, so that you are aware of any of the free offers that I give, as well as the different ways that we could work together. But I'm really and truly so grateful that you are here and that you are taking time for yourself to explore your light. And I encourage you to do what Adrienne said, gift yourself with breath work, gift yourself with some kind of service or special, that's my con. Told you I'm at home. Gift yourself with some special way to take care of your energy and to expand your light. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.